Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Allison Cruz, and today I'd like to welcome you to a unique little game called Tunic. People like to compare this to Dark Souls because of the difficult combat, and also The Legend of Zelda because of the V-Bays and presentation. And honestly, I do get where they're coming from, but by the end, it turns into something so special and so impressive that categorizing it like that is a bit of a disservice to how great and beautiful discovering what this game truly is. And I'll elaborate on that a little later as we go ahead and get started on our new adventure. A lot of this game is rooted in discovery and perspective, so if you're a fan of games like The Witness and Fez, the puzzle aspect of this game could be especially enjoyable for you, but a lot of them are very cryptic and difficult to follow. I still haven't 100%ed the game, but I have yet to resort to a guide, and I think that is definitely the best way to experience everything this game has to offer. Although there are a couple secrets that I do want to capitalize on early, just to make it fun for us, but I won't do too much sequence breaking, which is surprisingly encouraged in this game. So without really any fanfare, we're left to our own devices in this foreign world in a language we cannot understand. So what else are we going to do than to step inside and loot the first house we find? Over here we've got a stick. Nice. I do very much enjoy just grabbing miscellaneous branches out of chests, but you can use this to whack things, and that's a pretty fun affair. It's not very strong, but by God, we're going to make this the greatest stick you have ever seen in your life. Man, the art design. Look at all of these blades of grass. That is obscene, man. We have a dead end over here, and we have some oozes up there, but I do want to make note of this little area here. Initially, I was planning on going through and making my way through this area for secret, but without the sword, you can't really get through these bushes. However, you do learn something fairly early on about a secret code that can give you your one free firecracker for the run. But I'm not going to use it. I'm going to save it, and we're going to hold on to that for a bit later. I think we'll be better off just kind of familiarizing ourselves with the game a little bit. So we've got some oozes here, and they don't do a ton of damage, but just like in Dark Souls, you can go ahead and strafe, and once we get the shield, we can parry and guard, but you want to be careful because button mashing is a surefire way of getting you killed. So try to avoid that at all costs, if possible. If we head over here, we're going to need a key to enter this door, but if we had gone around that way and blown up those bushes, we could access it from the other side. And this is going to take us to the hero's grave. That sounds like fun. Amongst other things, we've got a few more enemies down somewhere around these parts. Yeah, here we go. So a lot of this early game is going to sort of stop you from going too far ahead until after you get the sword. This blue guy is very annoying. But keep an eye on your stamina because if you find yourself without any, you're going to take extra damage and you're going to have a real hard time. So usually sidestepping is a pretty nice way of avoiding most of these moves. But this will take us to the town. Yeah, blocked by more of these bushes, unfortunately. I love the way they look. They're just so pretty. Up here we have some random enemies. I don't know if the game gives them a proper name, but I like to call them hedgehogs, so that's what they'll be. This is the equivalent of a bonfire. Resting here will not only restore all of your health and replenish all of your potions, but it comes at the cost of every enemy you've defeated coming back to life. So use it sparingly and proceed with caution. Something tells me we should not have done that. We've been transported to some very mysterious spirit world, and as cool as being blue like this is, you probably don't want to stay in this state for very long. Usually indicates that you're dead. Here we've got some bells. If I try to whack it, not a very pleasing sound. But interacting with it is how we're supposed to open this smaller one. That looks almost identical to the one out there. Interesting. This all seems a little familiar. Alright, let's keep it going. I'm glad they let me take my stick into this spirit dimension, because otherwise I would be completely lost without it. But here we have... oh. Interesting. That's not very promising, is it? We awaken outside, and luckily nobody has feasted on our bodies. But if we try to go back in, it has been sealed forever. There we go, disrupting the natural flow of things, as always. But we can head over here and pick up a key. This is going to be used to open the way to the hero's grave, and we can catch a glimpse of what we're going to experience soon. A ton of enemies. You can see some with swords, and that's a very unpleasant experience. Can't go and do anything here because the overbrush is simply too much, but one of the things that we can maybe catch a glimpse of is clear over here. We're not going to go too far out of our way, like I said, but there's one item that I would like to grab right over here. This is a fang, and over the course of the game you're going to find these interesting items that'll allow you to upgrade your stats, that one being strength, so very, very important. If we head in here, we can't exactly do anything just yet, but we can catch a glimpse of something we're going to want as soon as possible, a shield. But unfortunately the way is locked, so we'll go ahead and deal with this metal door later and see if we can't figure out where in the world this key opens. So far we've only seen the one locked door, but yeah, those guys are all back, which is fantastic. But I'm gonna go ahead this way. We already know where it's going, so I'm not gonna kid myself. But yeah, you do want to be a bit careful, because if you try to speed through, usually the enemies will capitalize on that, and they will not let you do that. So we've got ourselves a very interesting little room with a page. This is our first part of the manual, and this is going to be the most crucial thing in your arsenal, is the information that you get from reading through this as carefully as you possibly can. Here we see that we need to ring the east and west bell, and there's check marks in the order we have to do it in. Here we have the guard captain, and because we can't read it, then, well, we're just gonna have to infer certain things. Once we get more pages, more information will be made available to us, obviously, but just be very mindful that everything that is written here is written with intent. In a far-off land, a great treasure was sealed away forever. Some say it is the power to defy death. Yeah, that looks like the sealed temple if you ask me. On the other side here, you can take a look at your health, stamina, and magic points, and the fact that everything hurts more when your stamina is at 0. So be very cognitive of that. We have our radiant equipment, our magic potions, which will also be restored when we rest at a fox statue, and wait a minute, this looks like the beginning of the game. And there's that yellow platform there, which we don't know anything about until we find page 41, and there's a chest. Huh. Well, believe it or not, we can get that right now if we really wanted to, but we're gonna wait on that. There's also something else in this room, but I'm gonna wait till I'm a bit more prepared before we start doing any of those shenanigans. But a lot of these, once you figure out sort of how to play the game, you'll be good. Over here is the other side of the bush, and this is where I'm going to consult with my lovely Holy Spirit and step inside this room that we're not supposed to just yet. I'm sorry to say, I feel like this is going to be a lot more fun if we have the item that is found here. We've got 3 blue fruits here, which will help increase your magic power, and the main attraction. This is our first ability card, and it is easily one of the most versatile this early in the game. It's the Flame Sword, and essentially what it allows you to do is light enemies on fire. But at the cost of all of your health, you essentially become the most delicate of foxes playing with fire. But we can now officially burn down everything in our way, and I just love the way the chaos looks. Good God, it's so good. Yeah, there's a nice little dead end over here. But we can go down these stairs that we wouldn't be able to, and we're just gonna go check it out. There's a lot of additional things we can grab before the sword, and like I mentioned, the game wants you to actually do some heavy sequence breaking for a certain achievement, which we are not going to do, don't worry, but that's for later, as well as this. Huh, it looks like some kind of lamp you could find on the TikTok shop or something. But we're going to be very careful because one hit and we're done. We don't have a shield. We don't have any semblance of defense. It's Jover if we get hit. But the cost of not being able to take any damage is great in our favor because we will decimate these enemies with fire and also hopefully more explosions if we can find them. This is also our first effigy. Over the course of the game, we'll find these items that we can smash on the ground for additional gems, which you're going to want as many as possible. But again, there is an achievement in having 10 of these in your inventory at once. And granted, they don't give you the most money, but there are only 12 in the game, so it's gonna be a little while before we find them all. But that's all right. That's why we're just having a little bit of fun. Go burn some of this down and more indecipherable things, but let's go take these guys out. So before 3 hits is all it took to defeat them, now essentially the fire damage they take just finishes them off. It's so good. And I just love the devastation and destruction and how all the debris just stays here. Good God. Grab some more gems, and I think we can probably start making our way up. Just a little bit more. Burn more of this down. And up to the right is where we have to go. This is going to take us to the East Forest, but I don't want to do that just yet. Instead, we're going to go over here and burn everything to the ground once again. Oh man, there are those hedgehogs. These guys are pretty annoying in packs because they're long ranged and they also have a pretty erratic movement associated with them. So they've already seen me and I can just do that and let them burn. Yes. Oh, but you're gonna need a second hit on there. If you can get them from afar, you'll probably be better off, but... Oof. Here. Stop it. Leave me alone, man. Oh my God, my stamina ran out. That is not good. Gonna need to keep an eye on that almost as much as this manual page, which holds the map to the overworld. I'm gonna try my hardest not to spend so much time looking at these because this tells you every secret there is. I think there might only be 1 or 2 things that this map does not show you as far as secrets are concerned, but you've got mysterious eyes in the windmill there, you have the old house, and you also have a real-time look at where you are relative to everywhere else. There's the sealed temple. So it's just, I find something new looking at this thing every single time, and I adore it. On the other side, we have the map under the well, and we'll get into this a little bit more later, but great tip, use your sword to deflect lasers. Thank you. So Slorms and Autobolts will be very capricious and undeserving of living, so we'll definitely make sure to keep an eye on them. But for right now, we're gonna head over here and make a shortcut back to that fox statue that we saved at earlier. I'm not gonna use it, but when I inevitably die, well, that's probably as good a time as any to use that then. Also over here, there's another secret. So we're just gonna go and explore back here for a minute and find a lot of these damn oozes. If I can not get them all to pay attention to me at once, that'd be lovely. If I get cornered, I might be in some trouble. Get back, please. You just like to backflip all over me. Thank you. So anytime you find a pink flower, it's going to be very significant as to what you're supposed to do with it, but we'll wait on that for a little later. Over here we have the Forest Fortress, which is essentially the East Forest, but on drugs. And we're not going to do anything here just yet. Just keep in mind that there's one chest that we can grab, or that I want to grab, and it is a decoy, which does exactly what you would expect it to. You drop it on the ground and enemies will target that instead of you. So yeah, but we'll explore this place a little bit later because there are some secrets here that need to be unraveled. But let's see, what else is there even to go for before grabbing the sword? There's a chest here, or not a chest, a shortcut. You might want to go and activate that. If you want to go ahead and... When they charge at you, oof, it's a little scary. God, I feel like that was probably going to kill me. I did not have my branch out, my flaming stick. Also, more of those guys. I'm not going to go up there because they'll probably get me, but I'll go behind the waterfall. This game is just brimming with such cool secrets, and I can't wait to figure out the rest of this as we play through. There's also this room. I kind of forgot about this. I meant to come back here the last time I played, but I never did. So there is a very mysterious looking character. They go by the name of Rudelings, by the way. I don't know why, but it's probably because they're so rude and don't know a proper dance routine when they see it. But we can't do anything to get over there, so maybe we need something long-ranged? Question? Wink? Shakes head? No? No, I'm pretty sure I know what we need to do there. But until we get the actual manual pages to tell us, I'm not going to be doing too many of these secrets. Maybe one or two if they seem obvious enough, but for the most part, a lot of the secrets I did stumble upon the first time. I was able to sort of figure out exactly what we're supposed to do. So with that done, before we get the sword, there is one thing that I would like to accomplish, and that's to burn everything to the ground again. Oh, these poor souls. I'm so sorry, but it must be done. Oh, and you know, before we move on, let's go ahead and get that upgrade. So you're supposed to learn about this in a couple of parts, essentially, but if you go and press LB in front of one of these statues, you can offer up the item you found, as well as a couple of gems to upgrade yourself. Our attack has been raised very marginally, but still a good amount, and with the stick being the only thing we have, it kind of makes sense. So we can, yeah, let's go this way actually, I think, because this is going to take us to a very important enemy in my opinion, and also a nice little secret we can indulge in. So down over here, if you go ahead and just toss a bomb and hopefully not miss, then you'll find yourself a secret hole in the wall. And this one has, oh, this one. Well, we have a rotating cube, and this one is actually not that bad. If you listen and observe, you might discover a pretty nice secret. Oh, I see. Do I dare? Do we spoil a little something something? Let's check it out. We have unlocked our first fairy. In order to get the best ending, you need to find 10 out of 20 of them available in the game. I've only found maybe 4 or 5, and you also need all of the manual pages in order to do it. So that is going to be kind of a head scratcher for me because a lot of them are so insanely cryptic that I don't even know how to explain it. But over here we've got our first shard of a magic potion. These are essentially pieces of heart, and when we find 3 of them, we'll be able to have a full flask to our name. But we don't even have any flasks. We have an enemy here waiting for us. Now, back in the beginning, I did mention something about perspective. When you lock onto enemies or use left trigger, as a matter of fact, you will be able to see some secrets that would otherwise not be seen or easy to find. So we're just gonna burn him and let that do most of the work. There we go. Thank you. Drops a pretty good amount of gems too. And we have a well here. God knows what we're supposed to do about that. But if you lock onto this guy right here, you'll notice there's a chest just out of sight, and you wouldn't normally see it because of the way the game is presented. So that is how you're going to find a lot of these miscellaneous treasures as well as explosions. So we'll hold on to that. And here we have the old house. I am just going to kind of be a bit careful though, because these guys, there's a lot of them here, and typically get shot from afar pretty often. And if you're not careful, they're gonna get you. But if I just do something like that, oof, gonna get one of you. Oh shoot, don't run out of stamina. Also no friendly fire, please. There we go. Here, I'll just let you do that. Oh shit, I didn't want the threefer. That would have been bad. Ooh, and that guy who shoots the barrage. That's unfortunate. They don't see me past the bush, which is good. Oh shoot, but they can still shoot through it. When they're in tandem, that is my favorite part of the day. Can I burn at least one of them? Nope, apparently not. Well, if they're gonna just be hanging out together like that, it might not be a bad idea to just sort of capitalize. Thank you. Sheesh. Let's go ahead and grab this page and see what it says. So this looks like it focuses on stamina, which is very important. You're not safe, you have low stability, and you hurt more when your stamina bar is flashing. Plus you take extra damage. You can't do your special tech, and you basically get bodied. So very careful. Also, treasures and tools. This is where you can officially get your one free explosive bomb, and I'll let you figure out how to figure that out. We also have notes on the Holy Cross, the magic potion, and a bunch of miscellaneous other things. The golden coin is very important, and we'll talk about that a little later, I suppose, but at the bottom, it does say that if you throw enough bombs, you'll get a prize, so don't be afraid. Don't worry, I won't be. It doesn't help that when I was a kid, I absolutely loved strategy guides and manuals. I just had this weird affinity for them, and I feel kind of, I don't know, at home with them here. Go and hit you in the back. And oh my god, there's more of you. Jeez, you know, I might just ignore you guys. I'm normally somebody who just kills every enemy in Souls-likes just the first time, but there are way too many, and I just would rather get to the end in one piece, if possible. So let's go step in here. Hope we're not in a terrible, compromised position, and explore the back. Oh, God. I love the music in this game. It is so good. We've got some chests here. We've got some flowers, which are fantastic, and even more gems. But most importantly, we get more bombs. Nice. That is exactly what I was looking for. Thank you very much. As far as enemies out here are concerned, we now have rootlings with shields, and I don't like them at all, because until we get our own, we might not be able to capitalize on them. So we'll watch out for that. If we head over here, we have these tuning forks, which we can't do anything with. And unsurprisingly, when you take this off, you get your health back, but you can also interact with these now. A lot of things you won't be able to do much with if you have that card equipped. Also, treasure here. And there's also a weird secret here that I can never get to activate, but I want to watch out for that because there is an auto bolt in that hole there, and if he gets activated, with laser-like Olympic precision, he will snipe the ever-living hell out of you. Also, maybe do this. I don't have it equipped, so I feel a little better, but good practice, I guess. He's gonna try to attack me normally. Here we are. So again, you can attack while you are, you know, nice and tired, but I'm just gonna go throw this on. Yeah. So when you're in that menu, by the way, the world keeps moving, but just go ahead and select your ability card and everything freezes. Seems a little inconsistent, but that's okay. I'll sneak up on you, give him a couple of back shots. You also can't sprint while you're locked on, so be a little careful about that. Down here, we've got ourselves an envoy with the spear, and that shit is scary as hell. So I'm not going to worry about him just yet. And there's also a manual page we can grab. But there's one thing up here that I do. So if I do this... Oh no, they've noticed. I have been found out. Also, they can sometimes do double attacks, which is kind of annoying. Man, this stick is not very strong. Yeah, just let your extremely flammable armor do you in. There you go. Thank you. And I think just for the sake of safety, I am going to go ahead and rip this puppy off for now. We don't need it. And we'll go take these guys out. Ooh, yeah. Oh boy. Might not have been the worst idea. Oh, jeez. Yeah, the double hit is very... Whew. It's tempting, but don't get too greedy. Oh my god. Right in the face. So, luckily too, this guy has a tendency not to move, which is good for us, but I'm not gonna worry about that. Instead, because we're on the mirror side of where we blew open that door, if we do the same thing over here, it'll certainly be worth it. Let's take a look at the treasure we got. More bombs. Yeah, explosion and destruction is definitely warranted in this game. But just to look at where we are on the map, I mean, you can kind of see that there wasn't anything there. There are other indications of things, but to the left of us, there is an arrow pointing down. And this is something that I feel like a lot of people missed, but I found on complete accident the first time around. This is a shortcut back to this first area, which is, I think, my primary goal for this part. But I think we're going to end things off way down here in this secret basement. This room is absolutely incredible. Not only does it house our first golden token, but there are a number of changing panels here. And can you wager a guess as to what these do? You can customize the fox in every single aspect. And if you just want to go back to normal, make sure you go ahead and hit that and you'll be reverted back. I do have an idea of what I would like to have equipped here. So this is for your scarf. This is for your actual tunic, which is kind of cool. And there are so many different colors. I wish there was a faster way to cycle through them, but that's okay. We'll find the one I want later, because here, as far as the color of your fur is concerned, you can go so many different ways, and same thing here. I think it also changes your eyes. This is a really cool color too. But the one that I'm looking for is obviously the pure white fox, and this is how we're gonna be running through the game. Also, last but not least, you can do your hands, feet, and nose. I feel like maybe just having him black would probably be in the best of our interests, right? But you can tell just by the chime just how far you can go before it goes back to normal. So, ooh, that's kind of cool. I think I will go with black though. There we go. And as for this, yeah, we're definitely going monochromatic, man. I do think it is probably one of the cooler color schemes, but you can probably do anything you want. Would it look better white, actually? I think it might. Yeah, just whatever way you want to do this, really, there is no wrong answer. And on top of that, there is one last thing you can do, and this is something I discovered on complete accident, and it's completely stupid how long it takes to input a certain code, but essentially, you can go ahead and after like 30 something inputs in the right direction, you can give yourself sunglasses. And every time you die, you lose them, which is unfortunate because this is a game you die a lot in, but I still think it's kind of cool. And we'll probably be sporting these for a good amount of time. Now, lest you forget, there is actually one more little area you can go into. Can you guess what part of this fox is customizable? Because it is the little tuft of hair on your head. It's a pretty incredible discovery, and I love this place so much. There's so much customization that goes into your character here that it's kind of hard to go wrong, but personally, we're going with the Crew's fluff of hair. So, with that having been said and done, thank you all so much for joining me for the first episode of Tunic. I'm sorry if I broke the fourth wall a couple of times here, but there's just so much to this game that I wanted to show and still want to continue to show you. So, next time on Tunic, we continue the adventure. Take care, and I hope to see you next time.